Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the launch of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. I'm Deepak Vashish, the Associate Director for the Center of Engineering and Precision Medicine and the Director for the Center of Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. We are so happy to welcome you at this new facility. In this space, the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine will define a new future for medicine, where engineering is inherent to the diagnosis, treatment, and management of disease. Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai will work side by side in this facility to create new innovative technologies that will transform both the fields of engineering and medicine. Imagine a future where cells can be reprogrammed to fight diseases. Brains could be modulated to treat neural disorders. Reactions to individual treatment can be monitored in real time and protocols adjusted accordingly. Imagine a future where each patient is treated for the individual they are, and the healthcare is tailored to address those needs. This is what we will accomplish in this facility. This program will also train a new generation of health professionals who will have the ability to understand how engineering can support human biology. This center will be a one-stop shop for industry partners who wish to develop new medical devices and treatments. Our program will help them to create the new products and take them from bed to bedside. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Shirley Ann Jackson, the 18th President of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Described by the Time magazine as, and I quote, perhaps the ultimate role model for women in science, end quote, Dr. Jackson has held senior leadership positions in academia, government, industry, and research. A theoretical physicist, Dr. Jackson holds a bachelor's degree in physics and a PhD in theoretical elementary particle physics, both from MIT. From 2009 to 2014, Dr. Jackson served on the President Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, PCAST, and as part of PCAST, was co-chair of the President's Innovation and Technology Advisory Committee. In 2016, President Barack Obama awarded Dr. Jackson the National Medal of Science, the nation's highest honor in science and engineering. Describing her as a national treasure, the National Science Board selected Dr. Jackson as the recipient of the Vannevar Bush Award for, and I quote, a lifetime of achievement in scientific research, education, and senior statesman-like contribution to public policy, end quote. On a personal note, I would like to recognize and celebrate Dr. Jackson's visionary leadership for the last 23 years as the 18th President of Rensselaer. She has been a transformational change agent in higher education and has created a dynamic and rewarding culture of speculative inquiry, intellectual engagement, and world-class research, so essential in preparing our graduates to truly change the world. Hers is an extraordinary legacy that will continue to resonate at Rensselaer for many years to come. Please join me in welcoming President Jackson.
Good morning. And thank you, Deepak, for those wonderful remarks. It is an honor to be here to announce the launch of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine, a strategic collaboration between Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. In this facility, we will harness the expertise of leaders in the fields of engineering and biomedicine that will yield truly remarkable outcomes for patients. Let me take a moment to recognize the people who have been critical to realizing this launch, as well as special guests who are here with us today. I'm honored that we are joined today by Andrew Kimball, the President and CEO of the New York City Economic Development Corporation, who will speak on behalf of New York City Mayor Eric Adams. We also are joined by our partners at Mount Sinai, and I would first like to call out, even though he's not able to join us today, Dr. Dennis Charney, who is the Ann and Joel Ehrenkrantz Dean of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai and President for Academic Affairs of the Mount Sinai Health System. Dr. Priti Balchandani, Professor of Diagnostic, Molecular, and Interventional Radiology, Neuroscience, and Psychiatry at Icahn Mount Sinai, as they call it, and will be co-director of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. I would also like to recognize Dr. Zahi Fayyad, who is director of the Biomedical Engineering and Imaging Institute. And of course, we call him our own, Dr. Scott L. Friedman, who is the Fishberg Professor of Medicine and Dean for Therapeutic Discovery at Icahn Mount Sinai. I also am deeply moved that so many of our trustees are here today, and I want to thank them for their leadership regarding the development of this new research center and for all of their support during the years of my presidency. Let me first recognize and introduce Arthur F. Golden, who is chair of our Board of Trustees. Arthur. Ms. Wanda Denson-Lowe, a vice chair of our Board of Trustees. Dr. John Bennett, who is the head of CDPHP, the Capital District Physicians Health Plan. Dr. Bennett. Dr. Mark Little, retired Senior Vice President and Head of Global Research for General Electric. Mr. Daniel Pickett III, the head of Apti Health and a great entrepreneur. And Mr. Jackson Tai, he's been with J.P. Morgan Chase and used to head the, I think the Development Bank of Hong Kong and Singapore. I also want to thank so many in my cabinet for coming to the launch today, beginning with our own provost, Dr. Prabhat Hajela, Mr. Craig Cook, Secretary of the Institute and General Counsel. I think I saw him, Mr. Jonathan Wexler, Vice President for Enrollment, Dr. Peter Konworski, Vice President for Student Life, Mr. Joel Kincart, Associate Vice President, Development and Fundraising in our Institute Advancement, Dr. Robert Hull, Acting Vice President for Research, Mr. Ernie Katzwinkle, Acting Vice President for Administration, Mr. Gary Czar, who put all of this together, our Interim Vice President for, it's a long name, Strategic Communications and External Relations. Where is Gary? There he is. And I'm happy to see so many of our senior faculty and our academic leadership here. Dr. Shekhar Garde, Dean of the School of Engineering, Dr. Kurt Brenneman, Dean of the School of Science, Dr. Chanaka Edarasinga, Acting Dean of the Lally School of Management, Dr. Keith Mu-Young, Vice Provost and Dean of Undergraduate Education, and Dr. Mary Simone, Dean of the School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Let me say how deeply grateful I am to Dr. Jonathan Dordick, Institute Professor of Chemical and Biological Engineering at Rensselaer, and Special Advisor to the President on Strategic Initiatives. John was co-director, he will be the co-director for the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. He also has been director of our Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies, and most recently was vice president for research. I also would like to recognize Dr. Priti Balchandani, who is professor of diagnostic, molecular, and interventional radiology, neuroscience, and psychiatry at the Icahn School of Medicine. And I would ask the two of them to stand up so you know who the leadership of the center will be. And they will be joined by the gentleman you've met, Dr. Deepak Vishith, who will serve as the center's associate director. We have any number of others who are important to this effort. They are not all here, but I will just quickly mention their names. Dr. J Nessler, director of our Institute for Data Exploration and Applications, and the Tetherless World Professor of Computer, Web, and Cognitive Sciences. Dr. Yang Bai, director of the Genomics Research Corps within the Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies. Dr. Shyam Kumar, acting associate dean for academic affairs at the Lally School of Management. Mr. Johannes Goebel, director of the Experimental Media and Performing Arts Center. And of course, the person who controls my life, Ms. Jen Brock, executive assistant to the president. And the quiet one, Mr. Robert Carney, who is project manager and designer in campus planning and facilities design, and we would be nowhere without Rob. Also, there are a number of other friends who are with us, and thank you for coming. Mark Eigner, operating partner of Berenson Capital, Dr. Todd Mitty, alum, Mr. Michael Richter, alum, and the Honorable Louis B. Stone, Justice of the New York County Supreme Court, who also is an alum. So thank you for being here. I also extend our thanks to Barbara Winters, who is Managing Director at Jones Lang LaSalle, to our friends from Taconic Partners and Silverstein Partners, who recognized the potential for this project when Rensselaer decided to lease this space for the center. As many of you know, the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine was born from an historic partnership that Rensselaer established with Mount Sinai in 2013. And together we have generated tens of millions of dollars in research funding to address health conditions. And the success of these endeavors made it clear that when we work together, we are able to achieve amazing results. And so this center will build on those accomplishments and pave the way, as Deepak has said, to a better future for human health and well-being. Now, many of you may know us from a more historical context. Rensselaer graduates have always built bridges to the future, from the architects and engineers who built the Brooklyn Bridge. You didn't know that, did you? The Verrazano Narrows Bridge and the Williamsburg Bridge, to the scientists and researchers who have given us television, email, the digital camera, and nuclear propulsion. And so now our graduates will be bridging the fields of engineering, science, and medicine in order to address more of the world's biggest challenges, this time in health. And so with the establishment of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine, Rensselaer researchers and students are bringing the same technical expertise and diligent inquiry that always has defined our success and their success into the realm of precision medicine. Our team already has made significant contributions to healthcare, and now we will delve ever deeper and drive advances in the microphysiological platform so vital to medical discovery and diagnosis. The center will focus on disease mitigation and improvements to human health through precision medicine, which creates treatments specific to the patient. And the work will be focused around three fundamental pillars: neuroengineering for minimally invasive control and regulation of neural circuitry, immunoengineering to help our bodies fight cancer and infectious diseases, and regenerative and reparative medicine for personalized tissue repair and regeneration. And if you know anything about Mount Sinai, the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, you know that these also represent areas of expertise at Mount Sinai and concomitantly areas of expertise at Rensselaer. And so at this Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine, we intend to confront some of today's most devastating diseases: cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and tissue regeneration. Collaboration is critically important here if we are to meet these challenges head on. And that is why we could not be more thrilled to be partnering with the justly acclaimed Icahn School of Medicine in this effort. Established in 1963, the Icahn School of Medicine soon became one of the world's leading medical schools. The school is renowned for biomedical and neuroscience research, and its faculty has revolutionized our understanding of genetics and molecular biology. And so at the center, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and the Icahn School of Medicine will join forces to tackle complex diseases and to train the next generation of healthcare leaders. And so I'm now very pleased and proud to invite to the stage Dr. Eric J. Nessler, representing Dr. Dennis Charney. Dr. Nessler is the Dean for Academic and Scientific Affairs at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. He is director of the Friedman Brain Institute, professor of neuroscience, pharmacological sciences, and psychiatry. And I thought our professors had long titles, but these titles represent the range of what these world-class people do. Dr. Nessler.
Medical schools are known to have very long titles, so it is something that is true. Dean Charney, our Dean, Dr. Dennis Charney, unfortunately had an emergency this morning and couldn't be here, but it is a privilege for me to be here in his stead. The creation of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine represents a tremendous milestone for us both. The center represents the merging of two institutions with complementary expertise. One, a leading innovator for a long time in engineering, the other in biomedicine. Together, Mount Sinai and RPI can take on some of the world's greatest challenges. Mount Sinai has been advancing biomedical sciences since the founding of Mount Sinai Hospital 167 years ago. RPI has been changing the landscape of science for nearly 2 centuries. I gather the bicentennial is coming up in 2 years. RPI is the nation's oldest technological center of research and one of the most highly respected. We heard from Dr. Jackson that RPI graduates include the creators of the microprocessor, email, the digital camera, in addition to the engineers of many of New York's celebrated bridges and the visionary behind the Transcontinental Railroad. In 2013, Mount Sinai and RPI first agreed to affiliate, and since then we have collaborated on research exploring stem cell biology, robotic surgery, novel imaging techniques, and computational neurobiology. Funding of our collaborative research projects has totaled more than $70 million. 2 years ago, when Mount Sinai was at the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic, we worked together to invent a system to rapidly decontaminate thousands of N95 masks that our frontline healthcare workers could then safely reuse. Our collaboration will now deepen with the opening of this new center. The timing is perfect because we need to apply today more than ever the power of engineering to drive medicine forward. By marrying the engineering excellence of RPI with Mount Sinai's biomedical expertise, we are creating a center that will achieve breakthrough results to improve medicine and change the life of patients suffering from some of the most severe diseases facing humankind. We have great confidence that this new collaboration, this newly strengthened collaboration, will result in approaches to preventing, diagnosing, and monitoring diseases, as well as formulating fundamentally new treatments. On behalf of Dean Charney and all of us at Mount Sinai, we want to thank Dr. Shirley Jackson for her incredible partnership. It has been an honor to work with you, President Jackson, to develop this initiative that we believe will be a force for biomedical innovation for decades to come. I would also like to thank the RPI trustees. It means so much for you all to be here, and also to note your very strong support and vision in promoting this joint endeavor. Thanks also to other key partners, some of whom have already been acknowledged. Dr. Deepak Rashith, Director of RPI Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies. That's a pretty long title, actually. Dr. John Dordick, Professor of Chemical and Biological Engineering, and as we heard, Dr. Dordick will lead the new center with Mount Sinai's Dr. Priti Balchandani. Doctors Balchandani and Dordick are leaders with outstanding academic backgrounds who understand the importance of merging engineering and medicine, which is occurring at an ever-rapid pace over my career. I think we are now at a point where engineering is interfacing with almost every aspect of biomedical science and clinical practice. Mount Sinai's collaboration with RPI is flourishing thanks to Dr. Balchandani, but also the support of several others at Mount Sinai whom I'd like to acknowledge. Dr. Zahi Fayyad, an incredible mentor and driver of this initiative, who is director of Mount Sinai's Biomedical Engineering and Imaging Institute, and also RPI's very own Dr. Scott Friedman, who's an alumnus of RPI. Scott, where are you? There you are, yeah. Dean for Therapeutic Discovery and also Professor of Medicine. Thank you to this excellent leadership team at both institutions, and we all very much look forward
to medicine. Thank you. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce my co-director of the center, Dr. Priti Balchandani, who's a professor, well, you've heard all this, radiology, a professor of diagnostic, molecular, and interventional radiology, neuroscience, and psychiatry. She's the director of the Advanced Neuroimaging Research Program and associate director of the Biomedical Engineering and Imaging Institute. Dr. Balchandani received her BS degree in computer engineering from the University of Waterloo in Canada and her PhD in electrical engineering at Stanford University. Her research bridges the gap between advanced electrical engineering techniques and medical imaging applications. She is developing novel MRI techniques to visualize detailed anatomy as well as vasculature, neuronal fiber tracts, and metabolic characteristics in order to obtain a more complete understanding of the effects of disease on the brain. It's not an easy feat given the difficulty of working in high magnetic fields with various surgical and other instruments. So, Preet.
Thank you for that kind introduction, John. And thank you all for being here and supporting us in this initiative. It really warms my heart. As a scientist who applies advanced electrical engineering to improve the understanding of the brain, I am very excited to see Mount Sinai and Rensselaer expand their collaboration into the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. This is a dream come true for me, to be able to help set the vision for and build this new center. I want to thank Drs. Dennis Charney, Zahi Fayyad, Eric Nessler, and Scott Friedman for their constant support and mentorship. Thank you also to Dr. Shirley Jackson for partnering with us so we can realize this opportunity for transformative growth. I am grateful for the chance to work with Drs. Jonathan Dordick and Deepak Vashist to bring the concept we have been developing for so many years into a reality. We have established an excellent relationship with the Rensselaer team, and I'm thrilled that our dedication to this concept has culminated in the launch of CEPM today. This is a first in New York to have two great schools combine their resources in engineering and medicine. It is also precisely the kind of interdisciplinary collaboration that is needed today. The more complex the disease, the greater the number of distinct disease variations. Therefore, the greater the need for accuracy, precision, and computation, skills that are at the core of engineering science. So the application of engineering is essential to empowering medicine in ways that will result in better care for those who suffer from the most devastating diseases. New technology has just begun to drive advances in medicine. There's so much more that can be achieved. Improved diagnostics and treatment methods can make medicine more preventative, more targeted, and more personalized. These are the goals of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. We will be dedicated to both research and education. The center will offer a PhD program in engineering and precision medicine to educate a new generation of researchers and clinicians skilled in the fundamental biological sciences, data analytics, and the principles of engineering, enabling them to effectively bridge the gaps between engineering and medicine. Our research agenda will expand collaborative work that is already underway, concentrated in 3 areas: neuroengineering, immunoengineering, and reparative and regenerative medicine. As part of neuroengineering, we will focus on areas such as neural interface technologies involved in detection, recording, and processing of signals from the brain, non-invasive neuromodulation, and imaging and control of cells inside the brain. Such work could have significant impact in diagnosis, treatment, monitoring, and surgical care for neurological disease. Our immunoengineering work will focus on the application of engineering principles to harness the body's own immune system to protect against cancer and infectious disease. We will employ a variety of approaches, including multi-scale engineering, data analytics, and artificial intelligence, and fundamental immunology and biological sciences to develop safer and more effective therapeutics. In reparative and regenerative medicine, we are working to develop new types of tissue-generating technologies. We hope to manipulate the stem cell microenvironment to regenerate cells or encourage other cells to repair and regenerate themselves in a diseased or compromised environment. So you can see why I'm so excited about the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. Our intent is to generate transformative insights that will accelerate the application of innovative engineering methods to guide the future of medicine, a future where both physicians and patients are empowered to better fight and prevent disease. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Dr. Dordick and Dr. Balchandani. Before I introduce our next speaker, I would like to make an introduction. I would like to introduce Ms. Gail Brewer. This is Councilwoman Gail Brewer and former Manhattan Borough President. Thank you so much for joining us. And now let me introduce Mr. Andrew Kimball. Mr. Kimball serves as the President and CEO of the New York City Economic Development Corporation. And we're so honored that Mayor Adams has asked you to join us today at the announcement of the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine. and so we feel it is highly fitting that you are here. Now, some of you may know that the New York City Economic Development Corporation oversees the city's $1 billion initiative known as LifeSci NYC, which is working to support the creation of 40,000 jobs over the next 10 to 15 years in the life sciences by expanding commercial lab space, supporting early stage companies, and developing talent. That's our business here, including the LifeSci internship program. The ultimate goal is to spur new research that translates into new companies, jobs, medicines, and advanced technologies. An accomplished executive and thought leader, Andrew Kimball has served as the CEO of the highly successful Industry City in Brooklyn, which is the home to Rensselaer's Institute for Energy, the Built Environment, and Smart Systems, and the Rensselaer Center for Architecture, Science, and Ecology, where we had a major event last week. So I want to thank you for doing that work. Mr. Kimball also served as the president and CEO of the Brooklyn Navy Yard Development Corporation, which has played host to numerous biotech and pharma startups. And so thank you so much for being here. And now I give you Mr. Andrew Kimball, President and CEO of the New York City Development Corporation.
Thank you so much for that generous introduction, Dr. Jackson. It's really a thrill to be here representing Mayor Adams, and I am so excited but also humbled. You know, I'm a generalist. Often people who go into economic development are generalists. I went to Hamilton College upstate, and I remember being somewhat in awe of my fellow students at neighboring institutions upstate like RPI, who are going into engineering and research careers. But really the opportunity for me to leave the private sector, come back into government, was to work with Eric Adams, who really understands that we've got to bring this city's economy back, but it can't just be in the same way we did before. We have to be really intentional about the sectors we're going after, and we have to make sure that it is embedded in equity and opportunity for all New Yorkers. And I know all of you in this room believe in that principle, and you know, we're thrilled that we're one in a long line now of chief executives of the city, mayors of the city, who have identified biotech as a key center. It's really been a generation. And it's not just been mayors, it's been members of the city council and borough president, like my friend Gail Brewer, who have been leading the charge to really figure out what those industries are of today and the future. And it is exciting what's happening. There's been $2 billion of venture capital investment in New York City alone over the last 2 years. When you look nationwide, there's faster job creation in biotech than any other sector, including the tech industry, which is really saying something. We're so thrilled about this project for many reasons. One is that it is really driving one of the key strategies of this administration, which is to not only grow that First Avenue corridor that we already know about, that combines eds and meds and smart real estate, but it brings it to the west side of Manhattan, it brings it to Harlem, it brings it to Long Island City, it brings it to Brooklyn, it brings it to the Bronx. We're going to be focusing on doing that. We're going to be very intentional wherever we can at connecting this work with DOE curriculum and STEAM centers and STEM education and CUNY, as well as private institutions. So we're thrilled that this project is going to be a key part of that effort. And I just want to introduce Sue Rosenthal, who's in the room. Sue is over there and leads EDC's Life Sciences Initiative. Really brilliant. I hope you will get to know her. So what's special about this project is injecting engineering into the heart of biotech that's going to drive startup, that's going to drive innovation in the city, and is going to change people's lives. And in many ways, this kind of project is the holy grail of economic development, because the truth is, we had nothing to do with it. What we did was we laid the groundwork, and not just us, but people like Gail and past mayors, of creating the ecosystem in New York in which smart developers like Taconic, and I really want to give them a shout out because they are leading this now citywide in terms of building out space for biotech, but then leading institutions like RPI and Mount Sinai, both internationally known for their work, come together in the heart of New York City where they can access the best talent in the world to take an initiative like this underway. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much. I bring greetings from Mayor Adams and thanks from him. Keep up the good work.
And now I'd like to invite Dr. Jackson and Dr. Nessler to the stage to sign the agreement to ratify this partnership and officially initiate the center. And also, Mr. Andrew Kimball, please come to the stage as well.